Anh yêu em hạnh phúc vô cùng.
Em cũng vậy, ngày đẹp nhất đời anh.
Mãi bên nhau nhé.
Mãi mãi yêu em.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is a touching and romantic journey about Tieu Hue and CEO Tuan. After going through many hardships, misunderstandings, and challenges in life, their love remained strong and sincere. Finally, the day they had both been waiting for arrived, their beautiful wedding day. In front of their families and friends, Tieu Hue looked radiant in her white wedding dress, while CEO Tuan stood proudly beside her with a joyful smile. They exchanged rings, shared heartfelt vows, and promised to walk through life together no matter what the future holds. If you enjoyed this emotional and inspiring love story, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more touching stories about love, family, and life. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next story. After countless hardships, misunderstandings, and painful days that once seemed impossible to overcome, the day Tieu Hue and CEO Tuan had long dreamed of finally arrived. It was a bright and peaceful morning, and the sky above looked unusually clear, as if nature itself wanted to bless their union. The wedding was held in a beautiful garden surrounded by tall green trees and delicate white flowers. Elegant ribbons fluttered gently in the light breeze, and crystal lights hung from the branches, sparkling softly under the sunlight. Every corner of the garden had been carefully decorated, creating a romantic and warm atmosphere that made the occasion feel even more magical. Family members from both sides, close friends, and respected guests had all gathered early, their faces filled with excitement and joy as they waited to witness the sacred moment of the couple they loved so much. Soft wedding music slowly filled the air, and the conversations among the guests gradually faded into quiet anticipation. At the entrance of the flower-covered aisle, everyone suddenly turned their heads as Tieu Hue appeared. She looked breathtaking in a pure white wedding gown that flowed gracefully as she walked. The dress shimmered gently in the sunlight, and the long veil behind her moved softly with every step she took. Her delicate makeup highlighted her natural beauty, and her bright smile reflected a happiness that came from deep within her heart. For a moment, many guests were moved by how radiant she looked. This was not just the beauty of a bride on her wedding day, but the beauty of a woman who had endured struggles, remained strong, and finally found the love she deserved. Holding a small bouquet of white roses, Tieu Hue slowly walked down the aisle covered with soft petals. Her heart was beating quickly, filled with both nervous excitement and overwhelming happiness. Each step felt meaningful, as if she was leaving behind all the painful memories of the past and walking toward a future full of hope. As she lifted her eyes, she saw the man waiting for her at the end of the aisle, CEO Tuan. Tuan stood tall and confident in a perfectly tailored black suit. His usually calm and composed expression had been replaced by a bright, heartfelt smile that everyone could see from afar. For a man who was known for his strong leadership and serious demeanor in the business world, this moment revealed a different side of him, a man deeply in love. His eyes never left Tieu Hue as she approached him. In that moment, nothing else seemed to exist around them. The crowd, the decorations, even the music faded into the background. When Tieu Hue finally reached the altar, Tuan gently stepped forward and took her hand. His touch was warm and steady, as if silently promising that he would never let go again. Their eyes met, and without saying a word, they both understood the journey that had brought them here. The long nights of worry, the moments of doubt, and the battles they had fought together were now part of their past. Standing there under the soft sunlight, surrounded by people who loved them, they both realized that every hardship had led them to this beautiful moment, the beginning of a new life together, filled with love, trust, and endless hope. As Tieu Hue and CEO Tuan stood together at the altar, the gentle wedding music slowly softened and a peaceful silence spread across the garden. The guests watched attentively, their faces warm with anticipation and emotion. In that quiet moment, the master of ceremonies stepped forward with a kind smile and began to speak. His voice was calm and sincere as he welcomed everyone who had gathered to witness this meaningful occasion. He spoke about love, about destiny, and about the beautiful journey that had brought two hearts together despite the many storms they had faced along the way. He briefly shared the story of Tieu Hue and Tuan, the challenges that once tested their faith in each other, the difficult days when life seemed unfair, and the courage it took for both of them to keep believing in love. Many guests nodded gently as they listened, remembering the moments when the couple had struggled but never truly gave up. Those memories made this wedding feel even more precious because everyone present knew that this happiness had been earned through patience, loyalty, and sincere devotion. Soon, the ceremony reached the most anticipated moment, the exchange of wedding rings. A small velvet box was carefully brought forward and placed in Tuan's hands. For a brief second, the confident CEO, who was usually calm even in the most difficult business negotiations, seemed slightly nervous. His fingers trembled gently as he opened the box and held the delicate ring between them. The sunlight reflected off the diamond, sending tiny sparkles into the air. But even that sparkle could not compare to the emotion shining in Tuan's eyes. He took a deep breath and looked directly into Tieu Hue's eyes. His voice was steady but filled with heartfelt emotion. "For many years," he began softly, "I believed that success meant building a powerful company and achieving recognition in the business world. I worked tirelessly, thinking that was the most important goal in life. But everything changed the day you walked into my life." The guests listened in silence as Tuan continued speaking. "You showed me that true happiness is not found in wealth or status, but in having someone who understands you, stands beside you, and believes in you even during the darkest times. Today, standing here with you, I know that the greatest blessing of my life is being able to hold your hand and call you my wife." With gentle care, he placed the ring onto Tieu Hue's finger. Applause softly spread among the guests, but the ceremony continued as Tieu Hue prepared to say her vows. She took the second ring, her hands slightly trembling as emotion filled her heart. Looking at Tuan, her eyes glistened with tears of happiness. She smiled warmly and spoke with quiet sincerity. "There was a time in my life when I felt lost and alone. I thought happiness was something that belonged to other people, not to me. But you appeared and changed everything. You protected me, believed in me, and taught me that love can heal even the deepest wounds." Her voice grew stronger as she continued. "Today, in front of our families and friends, I promise to walk beside you through every season of life. In moments of joy, I will celebrate with you. In moments of hardship, I will stand with you. No matter what challenges the future may bring, I will always choose you, again and again." Then, with gentle care, Tieu Hue slid the ring onto Tuan's finger, sealing their promise in front of everyone who had gathered to witness their love. As the second ring settled gently onto Tuan's finger, a wave of warm applause spread across the entire garden. The guests could no longer hide their emotions. Smiles, cheers, and even a few quiet tears appeared among family members and friends who had witnessed the couple's long and difficult journey. In that beautiful moment, the master of ceremonies raised his hand slightly and announced with joy that Tieu Hue and CEO Tuan were now officially husband and wife. The words seemed to echo softly through the garden, marking the beginning of a brand new chapter in their lives. Tuan looked at Tieu Hue with eyes full of affection and relief. For so long, he had carried the responsibility of protecting the woman he loved from the storms that life had thrown their way. Now, standing beside her as her husband, he felt a deep sense of peace he had never experienced before. Without hesitation, he gently pulled Tieu Hue into a warm embrace. The moment felt incredibly natural, as if the two of them had always belonged together. Tieu Hue leaned against him, her heart filled with overwhelming happiness. Tears shimmered softly in her eyes, but they were tears of joy, the kind that appear only when someone finally reaches a dream they once feared might never come true. Around them, white flower petals began to fall slowly from above, released by hidden decorations hanging from the trees. The petals floated through the air like tiny blessings from the sky, creating a romantic scene that felt almost magical. The sunlight filtered through the branches, casting gentle golden rays over the newly married couple. Many guests took up their phones and cameras to capture the unforgettable moment, while others simply stood quietly, letting the beauty of the scene remain in their memories. Soon after, the couple was invited to read their final promises to each other as husband and wife. Standing side by side, still holding hands, Tuan spoke first. His voice carried warmth and determination. He promised that no matter what challenges life might bring in the future, he would always protect Tieu Hue, respect her dreams, and build a home filled with love and understanding. He promised that success in business would never mean more than the happiness of their family. Then Tieu Hue spoke, her voice soft but sincere. She promised to always support Tuan in both joyful and difficult moments, to stand beside him not only as a wife, but also as a trusted companion. She vowed to create a home where laughter would always be welcome and where love would grow stronger with each passing year. When the vows ended, the music rose again, brighter and more joyful than before. The newlyweds slowly walked down the flower-covered aisle together, while the guests showered them with petals and warm congratulations. Tuan kept holding Tieu Hue's hand tightly, occasionally glancing at her with a smile that showed just how deeply happy he was. For everyone present, it was clear that this was more than just a wedding ceremony. It was the celebration of a love that had survived hardship, a promise of loyalty that would last a lifetime, and the beautiful beginning of a future where Tieu Hue and CEO Tuan would walk side by side, facing every sunrise and every storm together with courage, trust,